at coming up in the playoffs together. Even grand finals. I would not be surprised at all to see these two teams going head to head in grand finals. But we are jumping in here. We've got a Mom Boots Luna for our Vaughn, and then Bells is rocking Pummeler's Prize Fighter Direct, the only one to pick Prize Fighter out of the bunch. Everyone else rocking that peak performance. And Brickbat, let me tell you, it is good to see some Mag Souls back on the field.
Yeah, it is. A brief moment of tyranny of siphoning Wand. Still going to be here. Still absolutely something that can happen, but when it comes down to it, obviously Showtime is a team that never really wants to go damage too much. It's not really their style. It's not really their forte, right? What we like to see from this team is exactly what we're seeing right now, though, from Xianzhu. These 1v2, 1v3 core plays, a double barrier literally secured against Hungry Like Nephew by himself, and already we've got an open net here for the side of Hungry Like Nephew.
Yeah, crazy impressive stuff. As always, Xianzhu just dribbling circles around everybody that he interacts with. I honestly, I don't know how he cooks it up consistently. A nice flip by Barcode there, but Kainu calls it out. We'll take the second barrier. Now it's both goalies with open nets here. Of course, Xianzhu and Joker have a slight speed advantage with the Joker rocking those slip kicks, but if Bells can sneak another KO or if Kainu can find one for him, the Pummeler's speed will kick in. We have two flips on the side of Hungry Like Nephew, and with Barcode running out of some cooldowns in the back of the net, it's only a matter of time before something crazy has to happen here.
Yeah, agree. The back and forth is going on right now. Bells on the Shakar looking to maybe find a goal, but I think the bigger thing right now is that Prize Fighter stack flip's going to be exchanged between Xianzhu and Vaughn right now. So a little bit more volatility now as we approach the end of the point. The Joker now rotating back to get a little bit of help on defense here, but Barcode is going to be holding fast for now. Xianzhu a teleport forward to get the core forward, but it's immediately going to be sent back by Kainu. Glitch Pop sends a shot in. It's going to be Bells finding the KO on Barcode that he's been looking for the entire point. Now Bells an opportunity to score. Strike Shotgun's going to do it. The dribble is going to be there, and that is the first point of this series going the way to Hungry Like Nephew.
Yeah, I have to wonder if that Prize Fighter stack gave the extra bit of power needed to get the red core there, as well as stun Xianzhu long enough to fully secure that point. Certainly that extra Prize Fighter stack is a massive boon for the playstyle that Hungry Like Nephew are angling for. But, I mean, once more, the core control is out of control for Joker and Xianzhu. They're going absolutely ballistic on these plays and already cracking open the net. And Vaughn doesn't have a strike to catch that, which means it will be a tied set 1-1.
Yeah, Curse of Juno Blob. You think you're going to get the strike reset off of the Blob, and it does not happen. You're just left sitting there watching that bit of a slow roller core go in. It happens, and that means it's going to even it up here against Showtime. Neither team really wanting to cede any ground in this situation right now. Revive comes through for Barcode, not needed, but saw the vision. It was good preemptively there. And as we get farther in, right, the eyes is going to be on the sole Prize Fighter on Bells. With a peak performance start, if you're not finding those KOs, you're going to be at a persistent movement speed disadvantage. And things like the stacks, things like fight or flight, anything that boosts mobility or survivability kind of gets magnified because peak performance helps you so much defensively, letting you get move speed for dodging, letting you get health for when you don't dodge, right? Everything you kind of need. So things could quickly get out of control for Bells, I think, should he not find the snowball early on into this game or early on into the sets. So a little bit worried right now as Xianzhu going to get a flip, but it's a crazy defensive situation right now.
And certainly with these double healers, I mean, we just saw Joker almost get down to stagger there, and then we just have Xianzhu popping in with the lifeline there to bring him all the way back up to full. And now we got Barcode. As soon as Joker's down to half, Barcode pops the Atlas ult. It is going to be really hard for Bells and Kainu to find these kills through any other route except knockback. But like I said, Xianzhu is dead. A nice goal line save there. Joker flipped it up to the top, but Vaughn was able to catch it with that flip. Still one barrier on the side of Showtime. Barcode holding strong. Xianzhu there to help out as well. Almost they get the barrier there, but not quite.
Yeah. This is going to be a tough one. I feel like we've got the kind of like the best defensive team, obviously, I think currently in the league in Showtime. But on top of that, you've got potentially the best defensive team that isn't Shianzu or Barcode in Vaughn and Kainu, while those two have historically not been on the same team, right? Demon's Raw, and back when they were Sad Boys, right? That long-standing rivalry. Now that they are on the same team, both of these are players who play goalie very proficiently. Both of these play midfield very proficiently, and both of them are known for being amazing second goalies in the net. So this is a very scary, this is a very interesting situation, very scary for both teams, as they feel like Joker and Bells, obviously veterans in their own right, some of the best scores that the game has ever seen. They have probably like the biggest iron walls to crack right now in the league's history. So I expect an incredibly long game, an incredibly close back and forth the entire time, and especially with Joker, who I think historically likes to play very aggressive on the enemy side of the field. The fact that he's rotating and playing defensively on Asher of all characters means that this Iron Wall now has a third member that we haven't seen too much from Showtime before, and that's scary. That's really, really scary to deal with.
It is scary, yeah. I mean, we've seen in recent seasons in particular, Brawlers coming back on defense has become more and more imperative, right? Having all three of your members of your team there to contribute in some way. Oftentimes the Brawler is just kind of hitting people or stunning people off the core, but they're still having to walk back across the midfield line. And even though Joker is on this slip kicks pickup, oftentimes, you don't really like walking back as slip kicks. But it's that important that he's willing to come back and contribute to this defense. That being said, the defense does fall. It is, for once, Showtime's barriers that go down first. But they have two defensive flips here to help them get out of a sticky situation. Shianzu will pop one right there, but he takes the blame for it immediately. Bells finds him there on the wall still and takes him out. That's another prize fighter stack for this Pummeler's Drakkar.
Yeah, that's 3 stacks now for this Drakkar flip. Going to come up for Vaughn as well. A reaction check going to be passed here by 2 members of Showtime, the Joker now. Some possession of the core, but it's going to get dribbled around him before too much could be found for it. Barrier beam comes through. Again, no value found. Bells and Kainum now going to be looking like hawks with these flips. That being said, a bit of a reverse play coming through. This defense has to come through for Showtime, though, if they want a chance to win this point, and eventually does get cleared. And to Shianzu's best ability, the primary does not hit. Now Bells using a flip defensively. Not going to find too much outside of the damage. Flip coming out from Kainub as well, and these are the flips gone from the offensive forwards of Hungry Like Nephew, now completely shut out by Barcode. 0 energy in the side of Hungry Like Nephew, and this might be a Showtime point. There it is. It's a Showtime point. It's a Joker point. It's a Showtime set. They're going to be taking the first set of this series 3-1. Barcode going to be grabbing the MVP.
Yeah, a scary last point for them, but Showtime finding their second win here. And they do lose a draft positioning here. Vaughn coming out over top of Shianzu, but of course we get this Atlas as the set MVP. Not too much impressive from Atlas here. He's going to hold on to it for a minute. There's 2 sparks in this draft, but Atlas doesn't really have anything that he cares about too much in particular. That'll be size on this Asher. We're going to go for Siege Machine on the Atlas. That'll be cast to last on Shianzu. Doesn't leave too much for Bells at the back of the draft either. I would say the big winner of this draft was Kainu, getting that Deadeye on Aimi. That is about as good as you can hope for after losing a set, getting to pick up Deadeye on your Aimi, especially when that Aimi is being piloted by one of the best Aimi players. Or who are we even kidding? He's probably the best Aimi player in the game, right? This is Kainu we're talking about. That is a massive win for Hungry Like Nephew, even though they lost a set.
Absolutely, couldn't agree with you more right there, and already they're taking a bit of an advantage to this point. I think the Deadeye could come in at any moment, even despite the double healing that Showtime can provide. The double healing on top of a recovery drone, of course, for the Joker, who is fully itemized here to stay alive and be annoying as long as possible. Already we see some of that. This final barrier goes down to the work of Joker. Shianzu close to flip, so is Barcode, so is the entirety of Showtime for that part. Bells potentially an opportunity to score, but already Shianzu and Barcode are going to be there, but wow, just out of nowhere, the cyber swipe comes through, catches Barcode off guard, finds a quick KO, and that's going to be a flip down for both Kainu, who used it, and Barcode, who's in the net at the time. A big find here from the midfielder of Hungry Like Nephew.
Yeah, it's funny, even though we have this Pummeler's Drakkar right here, it's been Kainu who's been consistently finding these KOs. Like, I almost wonder if they're regretting not picking Prize Fighter on Kainu, right? Imagine this dude would have so many stacks at this point. but it is Joker that's staggered in the meantime. Does get healed up by Shianzu there. Very nice multitasking by Shianzu, bringing the core up to Joker to influence with the now secondary and heal Joker at the same time. It's, you know, very, very high value there. And Bells and Kainu both punished here. Incredibly low stagger. Bells having to walk all the way back for an orb. But the barriers of Showtime do fall. The Atlas ult is coming out, and Bells is walking in with this flip.
Yeah, and so far, when we've seen this situation before, Bells has found a KO before a goal, but all of a sudden the Joker able to win a critical strike war. Able to find one goalie barrier. The flip is going to be there. Bells just waiting for good measure, wants to find the shotgun KO. Not going to get it. Going to have his midfielder score for him in that regard before that prize fighter stack can be found. A little bit, a small loss, but obviously you're going to be happy if you are hungry like Nephew. They find themselves 1 point away from evening up the game.
Yeah, taking the lead here with 2 points early in set 2. But, oh, that lead is going to crumble pretty quickly when Vaughn falls to Joker's dash punch and the barriers soon after. Path Splitter comes in, applying further pressure. But the core does float wide, gives Vaughn some time to respawn here. Bells does a nice stall on the wall there, and Vaughn is back on the board now. So, if a miracle can be pulled out here, it's possible that Hungry Like Nephew could close out the set right here.
Yeah. Hungry Like Nephew looking good. The flip's going to be whiffed here by a Barcode. This presents an opportunity maybe for Kainu, but no, has to use it defensively here. Bell's going to have that 1v1 opportunity. A perfectly timed shotgun means that that goalie barrier is going to go down. Shotgun doesn't find the hit sometime that it wants. A scary angle here, going to be bounced off of the bottom side of Showtime's net. Joker an opportunity to score, but the core flip's going to be called out here by Vaughn. The primary is going to be there. Shianzi with a flip, point blank, and the patience comes through. Calls out Bells and Vaughn's on their prediction. Even though Joker, a little bit of happenstance, lost his recovery drone again. That's just resources traded for a critical goal here.
Yeah, critical to keep their set alive here. And, I mean, I'll say it, I think that this double healer with putting Joker up front has been crazy valuable. I mean, they're even finding a KO onto Bells there, removing that prize fighter stack. It is traded, though. That's Shianzu down shortly thereafter, and Vaughn is the one with flip and 2 barriers to his name still. So how much is Showtime really praying right now that they can keep this going? Bells gets the core from a pass from Vaughn. That core flip is now gone, and Shianzu is back on the board. Brilliantly dodges Kainu's kill combo there to stay alive, and Showtime's hopes will stay alive for the set for now, especially as they get that second barrier.
Oh my god! The Joker just went crazy. He just took on Hungry Like Nephew 1v3 in the Strike Wars, and with but a peak performance and recovery drone to his name, he's taken it. Now, this is really interesting because we've already seen, we are in our second set. We have seen 2 members of Showtime 1v3 Hungry Like Nephew in the net with Strike Wars, and that's got to be a statement here, an incredibly strong statement coming out from Showtime. They want contention for that first seed. They want to be the ones to clinch their playoffs and win today, but that is going to be easier said than done. A flip right in front of the net. The Joker fully sent back to defend, but an unfortunate bounce off the black hole means that defense has to go a little bit more. Now the Joker going to blow flip. No energy means that this is a very vulnerable Asher right now. Bell's going to be able to get that clear going, but it's going to be sent right back his way. Barcode now playing some of that corner defense. Bells with a strike war win. The Molten Bolt finds it right between Barcode and Shianzu. A set goes the way of Hungry Like Nephew. They're going to be the ones taking it, and they're going to be the ones evening up the game. Kainu going to be your MVP.
Yeah, and you can't ask for a better person to have your set MVP as. He's hovering stacks here, but there's no shortage of good awakenings here for Aimee. You could just as easily go Stinger, extra special, glass cannon. Even the twin drive would not be the worst if you're going to keep it out of Barcode's hands. That is going to be glass cannon on Vaughn. A little bit of extra power on the Juno for more core speed, as well as even more speed for this Mom Boots Juno is going to be a very nice buff. Spark of Strength denied away from Bells by Barcode. Not a massive tank, honestly. I think keeping more power out of the hands of Bells will prevent some of this snowballing that Showtime is afraid of. And the twin drive on Atlas, yes, very nice, very, very valuable, but Showtime seem to be holding pretty good right now. I think Barcode is sending a message that he doesn't need 2 secondaries to make this game work. So we'll see if that plays out to be true as we jump into set 3.
Yeah. Oof, and an unfortunate Kainu DC. Point's going to be played out, but I'm sure timeout's probably going to be called after it. Talking a little bit more about draft, though, actually, I think that stacks on stacks picks up from Kainu was incredibly smart. It's kind of the way, it feels like it's the lose condition. Even though they have this Drakkar with Prize Fighter and the Aimi with Deadeye, it still feels like they've been struggling to KO Showtime, who are one of the more resilient teams to that sort of playstyle. Being said, we do have a scoring opportunity. Yeah, it's going to be that. Vaughn not even electing to blow the flip knows it's going to be a 2v3 anyways, should he choose to use it. And I think both teams here are going to be waiting it out, waiting for Kainu to get back. That 5-minute timer has started. We'll see. I'm sure both teams will probably wait it out a little bit more than that. But I guess while we're here, right, we could bring up that skills list. Just say it. We could just harm people. We could just harm people right now. We have that. We have the full stage. Right? How many viewers are on here? Yeah, 147. All 147. Probably like say 30% of them are watching muted, right? So it's like 100 people right now that are just listening to our voice. They're waiting for us to say something. I don't know. I just figured I'd put the idea out there.
You know what? It'll come as it will. I want to point out first and foremost that I actually think the greatest tragedy of this timeout that we have right now is that a whole point was played out with the stacks on stacks of Kainoob off the board. I mean, it is a massive scaling awakening where you want to just be up over the course of a set to hopefully get up to that 150, get the massive burst of speed. And that was a whole point that had to be played out without the benefit of that stacked scaling, which is highly unfortunate for Hungry Like Nephew. But if there's anybody who could build it up in whatever points remain in this set, it's probably Kainoob. So I don't think that they're too worried about it.
Burst of speed, you say? Like
a burst of speed. Exactly. Yeah.
Slight increase of velocity, if you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I actually wonder if stacks on stacks preserves through DC. Obviously, Kainu got like 1 or 2 hits off.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll just have to go with the flow.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we absolutely are. And I'll take a look at the thread really quick. Yeah, so it does look like. Oh, wait, nope, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Give me 1 second as my computer dies. Oh, there we go. Hey, you know what? My computer died and Kainoob's computer lived. It's just the law of equivalent exchange here. As right now, a good save from Vaughn is going to send us right into the fast core speed of overtime here. One thing is going to go down. One goalie bear is going to go down. It is looking like a game of Earth with this core speed right now. And Belt able to find it right through Barcode and Shianzu. Flip burn from Barcode as well on top of that. And all of a sudden, hey, we're back. We got a game. It's dead even here in set number 3.
And with how fast that point scored, I mean, you just got to wonder if the DC was an intentional, masterful gambit on the side of Hungry Like Nephew, gaming for Kainu to just come back when the core was running super fast, score a 10-second goal. And, I mean, look, they're running it down again. Already both barriers down. This is a whole new Hungry Like Nephew from that set 1. They are looking strong here, Brickbat.
Yeah, absolutely. And oof, Bell's right now. Still 1 prize fighter stacked to his name, but that could go either way in these situations. Kainu, though, before even any opportunity for that to happen, just puts it in, does what the midfielder does best, and scores. 74 stacks here coming into point number 4. As you mentioned, right, losing out to that point sucks, but we'll see if a very long point happens and Kainu gets good firewall sentries going to get a lot of those hits like we see right now onto the Joker. That's a lot of stacks. Yeah, 40 going his way pretty much instantly there, and that will be the opportunity that Kainu has to actually get the full value out of the stacks on stacks, but they have to win that point, this point actually, in order for that to happen.
Yeah, those firewall sentries, especially with Joker having 2 size awakenings now, it's pretty easy to just get him kind of caught in the loop of the firewall sentry. And Bells finds a KO, but it's traded for a goal there. That's a 2-2, 5th point once more.
Yeah, Joker feeling some determination. He wants to win. He wants to be the one to take this game, and that is 2 big clutch plays that have come out from the Joker. So a very starting to become a repeating story here, and if that continues, I think Showtime will be the team with the X factor today. Flip comes through from Joker, gonna take 1 goalie barrier here. But as of right now, it's gonna be Shianzu and Joker with a KO found to their name. Barcode's gonna whip the flip. Black Hole gonna be popped, and right now it's gonna be up to Vaughn and Kainu to defend.
Oh, a sneaky KO found there. Glitch pop into flip from Kainoob, who is now rocking those stacks on stacks as well. All the way turned up. Another sneaky little blob on the edge there from Vaughn will actually be the one to bring down the barrier. That is the barrier advantage going the way of Hungry Like Nephew. Nice pass up to Bells, wins the strike war against Shianzu. And that's another set going the way of Hungry Like Nephew. That puts them 1 up in sets.
Else here on the Drakkar going to be MVP. There's things like the heavy impact. Yeah, the missile propulsion, not only denying that that Atlas all the way down at the end of draft, but going to be one of Drakkar's best pickups as well. On the flip side, looking down in the middle of the draft, I think is going to be the most interesting though, right? Bulk up. It's going to be actually taken away by the Joker. Kainu going to pick up heavy impacts instead, but all of this cooldown is now flying around, and on top of that, the goalies get prime time in team player, like these notoriously strong awakenings for goalies, and I feel like everyone just got everything that they wanted. It feels like, I don't know, I can't even say if there's a clear victor. It feels like maybe some advantage going to Hungry Like Nephew because they picked up the damage version of the cooldown awakenings, but truthfully spoken, everyone just had a huge power spike. This is about to be an insane set number 4 here.
Can I say, I am happy to see Adrenaline Rush float all the way through that draft with no one picking it. It is so nice to be back in a meta where you take a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. You could play core control, you could play damage. We're seeing kind of both of these teams play out those archetypes right here, right? So it's good. It's good to see that no longer picking Adrenaline Rush doesn't lose. That being said, Kainoob's wishing that he would have it, but I have to imagine the heavy impact probably played a role in that insane kill combo. Nice pass from Bells means that he'll score a goal shortly thereafter. And with 100 stacks to Kainoob's name, Hungry Like Nephew are feeling good and looking eager to close out game 1.
Yeah, 100%. This is such a big advantage for Kainoob, especially since Shianzu's speed is cooldown dependent, right? He has the aerials, which is obviously going to be very good, right? In fact, Shianzu, a huge proponent of those dash awakenings on the now. That being said, that passive move speed that Kainoob gets at all times, I think is going to put him as the one advantage in a lot of these midfield interactions. And as of right now, I fear Shianzu just nothing to deal with the onslaught of offense that comes out from Hungry Like Nephew. They're going to be very quick to take a 2-0 lead here in the set, and now all of a sudden we are on game point for game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is truly a testament to the insane ability of the members of Hungry Like Nephew to pump out damage. Because this is a double healer comp, right? This is theoretically the comp that you pick when you really want to play core control no matter what, and you just want to try to forget about the fact that the enemy team is beating you up for the whole game. But here, I mean, we have so much damage coming out that they're having to burn all their heals. That being said, a nice KO found onto Bells. It is going to be prize fighter stacked down, but Kainoob does the 1v3, replicating some of the... And we have the behind the barrier clear from Vaughn. Some insane plays coming out from Hungry Like Nephew as Bells comes back on the table. But both barriers are down. That's another power play for Showtime. This is their chance to begin the reverse sweep.
Yeah. Barcode gets a corner clear. It's going to be a little bit of a slower clear than Showtime wants, and that buys time for Bells to come back up. The shot's going to be there from the Joker. Doesn't find the strike ward, but it's going to be Bells actually here in overtime. Just takes it with the red core and the shotgun. Doesn't need any power to do so. The missile prop will be just enough. That is going to be Hungry Like Nephew. It looked good there for just a moment, right? Joker and Shianzu making so many good individual plays, but it just wasn't enough. The iron wall of Showtime has been felled here in game number 1, and Well, Showtime, they want to clinch playoffs, but more than that, right? They're probably going to get that in week 9, but more than that, they want to prove that they are.
Brickbat, you there? Did we lose Brickbat? Oh no, no, not Brickbat. Well, I'm not sure what he was going to say. They want to prove that they're the best, probably. But yeah, we'll be jumping into game 2 before long. He's back. Brickbat is back. Brickbat, are you there? Hello? Oh no. Well, anyways, we'll be jumping into game 2. Both teams going into the locker room right now, and in particular, of course, we have Showtime that is going to want to come back with vengeance in game 2. I think that we might have to see a little bit of shifting gears from them, because we just seen Hungry Like Nephew completely bowl through the heavy focus on core control that Showtime have, right? They pumped out the double healer. They thought that they could be able to heal through all the damage, but they were able to just consistently kneecap Xianzhu over and over and over again. If you had all 3 members of Hungry Like Nephew hitting Juno slimes, the shotguns, the glitch pops onto Xianzhu, it didn't even matter if they could get the kill. He wasn't able to play the game to the same degree of fidelity that Showtime need to pull this off. So certainly, I think that Showtime are probably going to be eyeing a bit more of a hybrid comp going here. Something closer to what we just saw Hungry Like Nephew playing, where you can flex into the damage and still have the core control necessary to not just get completely run over. We are jumping over to, hold on, let me check our map drafts. Map 2 is, I've lost it. Shame on me. It is, I know it's on screen. Thank you. Saya's in my ear. My stream was lagging though. Okay, awesome. It's Night Market. Yeah, we're headed to Night Market. Another map where you blink once, and if you have somebody like a Kainoob on Aimi, you will just straight up die. But of course, we have 2 decorated Juliet and Asher players in our brawler slots today. So I'm sure that both of those characters are going to be pretty heavily contested as we move into the character draft here. Other important things to look out for. Dubu has been a pretty popular pick on Night Market as of late. Probably the one big reigning melee goalie. But Barcode seems to not be afraid to just stick with the Atlas anyways. So there's a decent chance we could see that again. Brickbat, do we have you back?
Am I live?
We're here!
Oh,
We have him back!
Let's
go!
Sent, it was Golden Dark where I was sent in the world of Discord disconnecting me for fun. That was crazy. They sent me to the Slammer there for a bit. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it back. Oof. Cold.
Yeah, welcome.
Well,
yeah, we're jumping into Night Market here, Brickbat.
Oh, interesting.
What are the thoughts here? What do you think these teams are going to bust out? Because obviously Night Market, very different dynamic from Atlas Lab. So how do you think it's going to shake things up?
I'm not quite sure. I have to take a look at the pick so far. This Monumentalist is a little bit interesting. Obviously, I think that's, yeah, Showtime's going to immediately jump on Monumentalist Atlas here, and we'll see. Oh, I need to check my mic quality. Why don't you take this one away right now? There's a Monumentalist and an extra special, so Aimi and Atlas are foregone conclusions.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so, and I actually think that this Atlas could easily go either way on the Monumentalist or the extra special. It kind of depends on what Hungry Like Nephew goes here, which so far they're drafting the same comp that they did last time. We've got the Aimi and the Juno locked in here. So with Kainoob on Aimi, I think you kind of have to lock in the extra special Atlas, which is a very smart play. You get more protection against that KO. Healing, if the KOs don't happen, if they do happen, you'll be glad that you've just revived your teammates. We are running Kai, presumably in the midfield for Showtime, because yeah, there's Joker on Asher once more. And at the back of the draft, I have to imagine that this is Bells on Vice, or is this Bells Aimi Brawler? I don't know. We have a Vice on Hungry Like Nephew about to drop some killer tunes. What are you thinking about these comps, Brickbat?
Yeah, I'm super excited for this Hungry Like Nephew composition. I'm wondering what's gonna come through with it, because we've seen I Me Brawler before, right? The EKC kind of signature pick, but like you mentioned, it could very well be Vice in the brawler position. This extra special, you could just, if you want to deal damage, you can just sit on someone and hit primary, right, or hit special, and at worst, you're blowing, a core flip, you're blowing an evade, right, for that I Me to immediately capitalize upon. And I don't know. We could see. I think anything can happen. And none of these picks are something that Bells has been particularly known for. So I'm very, very excited. On the flip side, I think this is mostly a standard comp, but I do want to talk about the Kai. I think Kai's been in a really strange spot these last couple of patches. It really, really never felt like teams could justify picking him. But we just saw an amazing Kai performance in the final set, right? That final set 5 of Bozo Bunch versus Demons Raw, and now we're going to see another performance again. So, very interested to see what's going to go on here. Is I'm super excited to see what goes where here in this Hungry Like Nephew pick, because I can't see their usernames in character select right now.
Yeah, we'll see it once they lock in. It is Vaughn on the Vice goalie. This is Bells on Juno, playing Slick Kicks Juno. Opted for Monumentalist, the only Monumentalist out of the bunch. Everyone else is rocking that extra special. And critically, of course, Barcode on that extra special is going to need to really be putting in the hours this game, because this is a heavy, heavy damage comp that Hungry Like Nephew are playing.
It's going to be a Juno scorer / brawler as well, with the Slick Kicks, by the way. And what's really interesting to see here is the Slick Kick prevalence. 3 out of 4 of the 4s have picked it up. Kainu, the only one with Mag Souls, really feels like kind of a, I don't know, like a 2-year flashback to what we've seen before we were taken on by the grip of Magnetized Souls. That being said, damage is still coming through, and Barcode's not level 2 yet. The Joker has to just take that one to the chin, and this is potential scorer, immediately found. Wow! What a crazy find from the Kainu, a bit of a trick shot to start out this game here.
Yeah, it's a very auspicious start for Hungry Like Nephew for sure. I do want to talk about this Slick Kicks pick a little bit more, because that's something that I'm noticing more and more. So there's an interesting dynamic here, right? We talked last game about how Joker and Shianzu both kind of have 1v3 potential. They don't just kind of have 1v3 potential. They're literally pulling off multiple 1v3s a match against Hungry Like Nephew, successfully taking both barriers and then scoring shortly thereafter, right? So Slick Kicks is infamously the kind of 1v3 gear pick for forwards, right? You're saying, I'm going to hold on to the core forever. You're never beating me in a strike war. I'm just going to go until the goal is scored. So I understand the logic behind that. Simultaneously, one thing about Slick Kicks is that if you don't have the core, your movement becomes hyper predictable, right? Because you need the core to start your sort of speed snowball, right? With Slick Kicks. And so I do think it's a risky thing to play, because if your positioning is super predictable and you're playing around the core super consistently, it makes it a lot easier for the enemy team to dish out damage, right? So I think we're already seeing that Shianzu being forced to respond to the core. He had to run down to catch that because Barcode couldn't quite cover the bottom tip of that barrier, and you don't really want your goalie covering that interaction against this many ranged characters either, right? So Shianzu is forced to run down, and it results in his death. And then Vaughn is able to just apply enough pressure with the help of his team to get a flip in front of the barrier there. I think this is the gameplay loop for Hungry Like Nephew. And unless Shianzu can confine several gigas a point like that into a dribble like that, what a turnaround from Showtime. Here I am, casters cursing the whole point away.
Hey, I feel that. I feel like, again, this is just another time the Joker's just come in clutch up, found the most beautiful shot possible in the situation. I mean, but going back to your analysis, absolutely agreed with what you said. This is a situation, too, where if Showtime do play core control off of each other, they're giving each other those Slick Kick buffs, right? So there are potential plays where they could just kind of dribble around the enemy team, and with the exception of Kainu, who will have that speed in the midfield line. But if you're in the enemy net, or if you're in your own net, you're going to be fully advantaged, right? And look at that, Shianzu, a 1v2 strike war win against Vaughn and Kainoob, right? But let me repeat that again, a 1v2 strike win against Vaughn and Kainoob, right? Some of the biggest defensive legends in the game. They are still winning out. Showtime have a bone to pick. They have something to prove right now. But Hungry Like Nephew also coming out swinging an immediate core flip burst used from Barcode just because of the pressure from Vaughn.
Yeah, it looks like Kainoob and Vaughn are willing to play this point a little more slowly, dribbling there, and actually managed to catch Shianzu on the edge for a nice kill. I do think that being willing to play a little bit more of the slow game is going to be pretty critical here for Hungry Like Nephew. Especially because, like, these power plays are really where they shine, right? You take Shianzu off the field, it's pretty easy to make plays, get Barcode to burn some cooldowns, and the point is soon to come right after. So if Hungry Like Nephew are able to sit back and wait for those KO opportunities to happen, set them up by putting the core in smart places, I think this match should be a breeze for them.
Yeah. Interesting to see how this is ramping up. We do have a tied set right now in set number 1. Joker going to be taking some flips, but we do see some weaknesses of Kai coming out, right? So far, Shianzu has been battered quite a bit, I think, when the core gets in claustrophobic situations. That has been Kai's biggest weakness since time immemorial, but I need to stop talking about Kai's weaknesses. Let's talk about Showtime's strengths. Another 1v2 play here by the Joker, of course, assisted by Flip there, so not from nowhere, but as of right now, he's fully rotated back in defense. Kainoob and Bells, it's going to be their time, potentially. I know clear's going to be found now. Vaughn here with some killer tunes, as you've mentioned, gets the Joker low. Strike war not going to be one. The Joker looking to just get some orbs in this situation to heal up. Bells here with Flip looking very scary. A whiff flip from Barcode a little bit too early and means a potential opportunity here. Overtime now hits on the final point of the set. The Joker trying to get the core, but no, Kainoob's going to outmaneuver him with a cyber swipe. Pass splitter comes through. Bells is going to be here. The Blobos positioned perfectly. Barcode has to leave the net to step on them. Perfect reaction tech called out now. Or not called out. Bells is going to be finding him. The dribble's going to be there. An amazing Blobo play. But Shianzu recognized what's going to happen. The flip's there from Kainoob 50-50, and it's going to be won by Hungry Like Nephew. They're going to be taking the first set of game number 2 off of an amazing shot from Kainoob.
Yeah, some beautifully prudent positioning there from the side of Hungry Like Nephew. We'll set up the set passing plays. Kainoob, of course, rocking the set MVP once more. We're eyeing that Timeless Creator or Explosive Entrance, most likely. Oh, actually just the Recovery Drone. Okay, we don't want Joker to have Recovery Drone again. No more size. If we KO you, you're actually going to die. You don't get a free one. It'll be Hot Shot, denied away by Barcode. Explosive Entrance picked up by Vaughn. It doesn't really leave Bells with too much in the back of the draft. Siege Machine is kind of the consolation prize. And then it'll be Team Player picked up by Shianzu, which is pretty nice. It'll give some core speed contest to Showtime. So I actually don't think Showtime is too upset with that draft. You get some Spark scaling started on the Joker. You get some more cooldown on Barcode and some core speed on Shianzu. And I don't think Hungry Like Nephew got anything too majorly influential out of that draft. It's actually pretty even.
Yeah, I could agree with that much. Right now, though, even though the draft started even, this point certainly isn't absolute domination here. Full aggression coming out from Showtime. Just barrier into score. Bit of a classic Showtime goal coming for that. One thing I think that might be a little bit interesting to watch is this midfielder Team Player coming out from Shianzu. Going to be setting up Joker for very, very quick accelerations on these passes. So I'm interested to see if this is going to be utilized super duper well. It might not. It's going to be very hard to tell. But in the meantime, Vaughn picking up that extra eject button distance, I think it's going to be a pretty scary pickup too. That being said, walking into this one, the pass splitter just barely going to whiff. Shianzu an opportunity to score, but right now the defensive duo of Hungry Like Nephew stay calm, stay collected, but it's going to be a 1v1 situation. Vaughn calls it out though. And now the Joker going to take so much damage because of it. Patience coming out from Shianzu, tries to go for it, but not going to be able to find the goal off the flip. Now flip out from Kainoob, not going to go his way. As now Giga Blast keeps the core forward. Shianzu winning the midfield interactions, but Kainoob gonna find possession of the core. The Joker with a shot, not gonna find it though. Things are looking a bit scary for Shianzu and crew. Flip comes out from Barcode. Bond though, safely able to receive it. Now the special from Vice comes through the Supernova. Cyber Swipe comes through. They have to play Claustrophobic here, and this is really bad. Yeah, the preemptive revive coming out. The healing going to be big, but Joker not going to be able to find anything. They're going to lose that final barrier as well. But the team player is going to be here. This flip from Kainoob makes everything a little bit more scary, but the core is going to be sent away. Giga Blast as well for good measure. Joker trying to pass up to Shianzu. Shianzu a good Stroke War win against Bells mid-leap. Now an opportunity presents themselves from Hungry Like Nephew. The play is going to be found. Power play comes through, and there are so many blobs going to be backed up by the Firewall Sentry. Where do you strike if you're Barcode? That looked brutal.
Yeah, and once more we are seeing some fantastic textbook KO comp damage play style from Hungry Like Nephew. They single in on their target early. Shianzu is the chosen one this particular point. He gets taken down early. They burn the Atlas ult, and then they're back on him immediately. And you'll notice that Hungry Like Nephew are sending the core to where Shianzu has to respond to it as much as possible. As much as possible, they are trying to keep the core to where Shianzu wants to interact with it, because that's where it is easiest to hit him with those abilities. That's where his positioning is the most predictable. And as long as they just keep looping like that, eventually some KO is going to be found. The Joker actually just gets taken out by collateral damage here. Even though Shianzu has been the main focus, Joker has been hit by most of the stuff that's been shot at Shianzu. And so yeah, if Hungry Like Nephew just loop that over and over and over again, and the point goes long enough, eventually they'll get the power play that they're looking for.
Couldn't agree with you more. And one thing I think that complicates that a little bit more though is actually the starting awakening. That extra special on Barcode means that he's going to have twice the amount of opportunities to actually save Shianzu or Joker from this damage, which I think has been a cornerstone to Showtime success. I originally predicted that it was going to be the Monumentals pickup on the Atlas, but I had been proven wrong in spades. So I think that pick has absolutely provided so much value to Showtime, and they're going to need more value out of this right now because there are two flips coming out from Hungry Like Nephew. Clear is going to be found though by Shianzu, but it goes right back into the hands of Bells. The pass up to Vaughn is perfect. Sets him up for an advantage strike war, takes it against Barcode. Hungry Like Nephew now thoroughly advantaged here in this game. They're going to find themselves advantaged for their second set win.
Yeah, it's looking pretty likely that they take home the second set here. That being said, I do want to call out, there's a nice tactical tweak that's been made here by Shianzu. Positioning much smarter around, like he has recognized that when he goes near the core, there's going to be stuff shot at him. So you actually see him doubling back a little bit. He's dodged multiple glitch pops at this point and a cyber swipe. And so he's taking significantly less damage. And as a result, we're seeing, his ability to kind of stay calm in a crowd is keeping him more alive. And he's actually allowed to hold on to this flip and force a lot more risky rotations out of Hungry Like Nephew, which might just result in the winning points that Showtime need to keep it alive.
Yeah. That being said, a bit unfortunate of an angle. It means that this might be the point in favor of Hungry Like Nephew. Kainoob going to get a point bank flip, but it's going to be Shianzu here assisting on that defense, but there are too many slimes. Again, Bells with checkmate. All of his pawns in the right place at the right time, and Shianzu, the king of midfield, going to be knocked over in that situation. Vaughn, though, going to be finding himself with MVP, and I'm eyeing up that heavy impact.
Yeah, heavy impact seems by far the choice here. You could also go for specialized training, but it's like, it's more damage, but you don't get that lovely cooldown reduction, right? Mm-hmm. He does go for specialized training though. Yeah, heavy impact actually just floats through this draft, strangely enough. Not picked up by Kainoob wanting to deny away that survivability as well as pick up some extra speed in the form of peak performance. Barcode will get stacks on stacks, probably the only one on Showtime who could actually reliably keep those stacks on stacks without dying, and Joker will pick up some size. So this is, that was a very, Showtime draft. Not in the sense that I think they won, because I think that Hungry Like Nephew got some fantastic awakenings. But these are like some Showtime signature pickups with Shianzu grabbing the aerials, Barcode grabbing the stacks. So they're still playing their game.
Yeah, 100% agreed. I think if you want to get really drunk one day, you should rewatch Showtime games and drink every time Shianzu picks up Zadash Awakening. I think that is something that I think would lead to a very enjoyable evening. That being said, what is looking awesome for Hungry Like Nephew is going to be this point. And I actually want to talk about the specialized training. So obviously, me personally, as the challenger midfielder I am, right, I would be clicking heavy impacts every time on the Vice. It's so immediately good for her. It's so easy to proc to cooldown reduction. On top of that, right, all of her abilities are impacts, so it's a damage and a cooldown buff, which seems to be everything that you need on Vice. But I have talked to players who do like hook resets about it, and he actually thinks that spec training is one of Vice's best awakenings because it turns her supernova into essentially a checkmate. Like, you have to evade it, and if you get in a situation where you can just ulti someone who doesn't have evade or they have flip, that's just, it's gone. They have to do it because they can get 100% staggered by that fully charged up supernova. So I think that's why, because of that kind of consistency, I would say that at this level of play, I see why that's so valuable. So we'll see, though, if we ever see that situation come to be. As of right now, Vaughn might not even get the opportunity to do it. His forward's going to be putting a lot of the work in, and when they don't, he's going to be there with the correct strikes off of the eject button to do it. I mean, we saw it right there. That was half charged, and that was 2/3 of Joker's HP.
Yeah, it's spooky stuff. And since it's extra special start, once more, he's getting those supernovas up all the time. That's Kainoob in the net. That is a 2-point lead in what could very well be the final set of this series. It is looking very scary for Showtime right now. They are going to need to seriously change up their pace if they want to turn this game around.
And this is their last opportunity. This is the reigning champions of the North American Strikers League looking to hold on to their brand new found legacy, right? They fought so hard in the previous season to be now the uncontested kings of the North American Strikers League, but it seems like the old Titans have come back and woken up to take that title back yet again. And well, right now it's looking like the olden times. It is such a domineering win here for Hungry Like Nephew. They're looking strong. The flip's coming through. It's going to be the final point, and Bells puts it in with a strike. Takes the strike war against Shianzu and wins it. A little bit of payback for earlier in the series, and Hungry Like Nephew take game number 2 in a domineering fashion. They're going to be the first seeds coming into playoffs, and they are going to be the team to beat coming into the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming into playoffs strong and finishing out that series tail held high. They've got Bells on the Juno Brawler, participating in 9 goals there, getting 61 shots. But of course, all eyes are on Kainoob, 208 redirects. These are rookie numbers for this guy. And of course, Vaughn in the back dishing out 34,000 damage over the course of that game. So, I mean, again, we can't sell Showtime short. There's a very, very good chance that these are the two teams meeting each other in grand finals of this season. But certainly, I mean, you said it, right? That is absolute domination of that series by Hungry Like Nephew. A seriously impressive performance from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a statement game, I feel like, from the side of Hungry Like Nephew. They looked fantastic all throughout, and hey, I mean, this is basically essentially like the perfect fantasy league team if we had fantasy OS, right? You'd be drafting Bells, Vaughn, and Kainoob for a team, and that'd be a team that does it all, right? A goalie, a second goalie, 2 midfielders, and 2 brawlers, right? And that's just crazy. How do you beat a team of 6 people, right? And this is obviously right now, I even though with a sub, right, they're looking fantastic going into playoffs here. They still got a week left, but obviously with that first seed taken, it feels like their dominance going into playoffs is a foregone conclusion, and we'll see how they end up doing. But for now, that's going to be the series. Any closing remarks, any closing thoughts here on the state of what we just saw?
Everything that we just saw has already been said, Brickbat. It was a fantastic series, and it was an absolute pleasure casting it with you. We'll be sending it over to the next pair of casters for our next game in the series. So stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.